New video shows students bullying a child with special needs on a Manatee County school bus. How the district is now responding. And the city of Northport is growing slowly, the new development that's set to be built there. Plus, red tide warnings are in place for the Suncoast, how the hazards are affecting businesses at the beach. Your Suncoast News starts now.
You're watching ABC7 News at 11.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Jacqueline Matter. Topping our news tonight, a coastal hazard has been issued by the National Weather Service for beaches along the Sarasota coast due to red tide. Respiratory irritation is possible for people visiting area beaches over the next few days. ABC7's Rick Adams has more details from Siesta Key Village to see if this is impacting businesses.
Well, it is business as usual here. The red tide doesn't seem to be stopping folks from enjoying their Friday night or this Father's Day weekend. What's happening here on the beach with the red tide is actually good here with the stores and restaurants. They remain very busy. Workers at the Big Olaf ice cream shop in Siesta Key Village say business has really picked up, especially because it's an alternative to dealing with the red tide at some area beaches.
Instead of everyone going out to the beach, they're just hanging out in the village and they see our shop and they just want to come and get some ice cream.
We're being told beachside villas on Siesta Key, which is near the beach, is sold out for this Father's Day weekend. Their guests are making the most of their visit despite the red tide concerns.
We've been getting a couple calls regarding canceling reservations about the red tide. People are concerned about the germs in the water. From what we know, there's no immediate concern.
Proud father Henry DeGree says he and his family are here from Pennsylvania until Sunday. He tells us the red tide isn't stopping them from having a good time. They are even enjoying some time at the pool.
We were already here and had already experienced some of it, and then, like I said, we saw the warning on it, and we limited our outside exposure, but beyond that, it was okay.
This coastal hazard is in effect through Sunday night at beaches along the Sarasota coastline. Beachgoers could experience possible respiratory issues. And for more information on this red tide situation, make sure you leave it here. Check out our Facebook page or log on to our website at mysuncoast.com. Reporting from Siesta Key, I'm Rick Adams, ABC7, your Suncoast News.
Okay, Rick, thank you. Well, let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan, who has been tracking those red tide reports for us over the past few days. Bob?
That's right. It's also available on your weather app. I just put a little video there on the weather app. It'll be available all weekend long, so you can tell your folks to download that as well and check it out. Here's what we're going to see. You're going to see this same graphic here, which shows what's happening in Manatee County. We'll start with the good here, and we'll go to the worst conditions. This is in Manatee County, a couple of areas showing very low concentrations in the north end of Anna Maria. You can tell there's not much else going on in Manatee County, with the exception right there of, again, looks like Longboat Pass and just some low concentrations reported there. And as far as Siesta Key goes in Sarasota, it is a problem there. We are seeing some fish kills in Sarasota. Here it is, Siesta Key. You can see there's a report of medium levels of concentration there, also near Lido and near New Pass. Big Pass is having some low concentrations right now. This is a report over the past week, and these are coming in from the FWC as well as Moat Marine. And you can see this is down in South Sarasota County. The highest concentrations that are being found right now are down near Minnesota Key, a couple of areas there. So you can find it's patchy right now at best. If you're heading to the beaches, it's not everywhere, obviously, and the fish kills aren't occurring everywhere, but there have been reported fish kills in some of the area beaches. This is where we're having respiratory problems now in Coquina, and you can see some of the beaches there lined up in Sarasota County. And as far as fish kills, none in Manatee County. We have had reported fish kills, though, in some of these places that you see here on the left side of your screen, from Crescent Beach, Lido, Minnesota, New Pass, Tacoma, Siesta, and Venice Beach. As far as the wind goes, we need that wind to switch around more to an easterly, I should say a westerly direction, turn to an easterly direction to blow all the effects offshore, but that just isn't the case. West winds will be continuing. All the details on that coming up in a few minutes. Jacqueline?
All right, Bob, thank you. We'll talk to you soon. A Venice attorney will spend the next decade behind bars for stealing money from his clients. According to the state attorney's office, Adam Miller was sentenced to 10 years in prison, followed by 60 years of probation. He must also pay $2 million in restitution. Miller was convicted in April of 5 counts of scheme to defraud charges. Miller admitted that he started stealing money in 2010 by transferring money from his clients' trust funds to his personal bank accounts. Miller's father was also convicted of a similar crime in 2011. He served 4 years in prison. A Venice man is charged with possession of child porn after being arrested just days ago for transmission of obscene material. 33-year-old Richard Kuchta was initially arrested on Tuesday. After his arrest, detectives found more than 100 images of child pornography, 15 of which depicted child sexual battery. He is now charged with 40 felony counts of possession of child porn. An employee with the Manatee County School District has been fired after ignoring a special needs child who was attacked on a school bus back in April. The whole incident caught on camera, and now the victim's parents are wondering why they weren't told about it sooner. ABC7's Adam Cellini tells us why the parents feel the district dropped the ball.
As chaos broke out during a bus ride in April, 5-year-old Annabelle Hunting sat alone and helpless in the middle.
It was heart-wrenching, man. You know, it's my kid. I love her to death.
Justin Hunting says his daughter is nonverbal after epilepsy slowed her development as an infant. She and her sister ride a school bus with other special needs children, but were separated on this ride when another girl pulled her hair.
Most normal kids would get off the bus and they would tell their parents the girl on the bus was pulling my hair. Well, she's not able to do that.
Then Annabelle is hit in the face again and again and again, while the bus attendant in the green shirt ignores the scuffle, searching for a lost phone.
And the more I watch it, the more sick to my stomach I get, but the more angry I get.
Her just ignoring it and, you know, more worried about her phone than the kid's well-being.
The school district only found out when another kid told their parent what happened. The bus attendant was immediately terminated, but there was another problem.
Nobody notified the parents. Each person thought the other one was going to do it, so it never happened.
Justin was notified 11 days after the incident, and it was weeks before they could watch the video after paying $60 for a copy.
I think that this can happen to a non-special needs child too, and I think the parents should definitely stay on top of transportation.
After it happened, Justin says Annabelle would cry at the bus stop. He advises other parents watch out for the warning signs too, because the people we trust to do so might not.
A Florida man who was pulled over for drunk driving chugged a can of beer after a sheriff's deputy stopped him. Daryl Rydell told Monroe County Sheriff's investigators that he was scared when he drove off in his pickup truck before finally coming to a stop for the deputy. The report says Rydell got out of his truck, beer can in hand, and then chugged it. He now faces numerous charges, including felony DUI, fleeing from a deputy, driving with a suspended license, and failure to submit a breathalyzer test. He is in jail without bond. Rydell also has 3 prior DUI convictions, and a 4th is currently pending. The city of Northport could soon be getting its first hotel. If all goes as planned, a Hilton hotel will be built right off of US 41 behind the Moe's and Mattress Warehouse. Commissioners still need to give the project their final stamp of approval, but most, if not all of them, seem to support the project. It has been in the works for years now, but the Atlanta Braves are making the city home for spring training, making it much more pressing.
Yes, we need it over here. We don't have many of those. We have to go either south or north on I-75, either to Jacaranda or to Kings Highway on Port Charlotte. So I think that's a great news.
Northport is also getting its own aquatic center that will be built next to the Morgan Family Community Center. There will be a pool, lazy river, and water slides. Both of those projects are set to open around this time next year. Well, a major upgrade for a Venice landmark, Sarasota County dedicating improvements and new additions at Snookhaven Park. The county refurbished the boat ramp and built a new dock. The park also has sidewalks and a parking lot that are now ADA compliant.
Come out here and see old Florida. Experience it, get on the river. You will just feel like you're in another world. And it's very, very unique to Sarasota County and a great gem for our residents.
Snookhaven Park is just off of River Road west of I-75. A new crime-fighting tool is helping you become an active force in community safety, and it's probably already in your pocket. The app called See Something, Send Something was developed right here on the Suncoast. It allows you to be the eyes and ears of law enforcement. All you have to do is snap a photo and upload it. Former deputy and app creator Kevin Angel says it can be used to tell law enforcement what you know that can help in their investigation or to tip them off to a crime.
If they see a missing child or if they see a suspected wanted person, they can snap a picture, send that as a tip. The facial recognition will take place in the background and the agency will get an alert that that match has taken place.
Well, that app is now available for free in the App Store. Well, everyone likes to spend a nice summer evening outdoors, but that relaxation can be interrupted by the pinch of a pesky mosquito bite. And mosquitoes are more than just a nuisance. They can carry dangerous viruses such as West Nile, dengue, and Zika. So depending on where you are and where you're traveling to, a mosquito bite can be quite serious. Fever, joint pain, or headache could be the sign of a mosquito-borne illness.
The best thing to do is if you do get bit, you can apply a cold washcloth to the area in question, and you can apply a topical anti-itch spray or lotion. And if you need to take some ibuprofen or some acetaminophen, that might help the swelling.
Dr. Vyas says the best way to protect yourself from mosquitoes is prevention. Get rid of any standing water in pans, pots, or wading pools that may be in your yard because this is where they are likely to breed. Also, mosquitoes do not like to fly into windy conditions, so running a fan nearby may help keep them away. Well, stay with us. Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan will be back with your first alert forecast. Plus, the battle over immigration continues, how the White House is defending themselves, and how you can track a manta ray that was released by Mote Marine Laboratory today.
Thanks to the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, what was once impossible is happening today for thousands of patients with blood cancer.
I live.
I live. I live. I live.
I live.
She lives.
Because of the research done by the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society in the battle against blood cancer.
If you had a chance to support the research that is saving lives, what would you do?
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
My California Closets experience has been wonderful. My mother's a huge inspiration. Before she passed away, she would say, you should do something special for yourself. First time I saw my closet, I immediately thought, this is the best thing I've ever done for myself. I call it my Tiffany style closet. I mean, I can shop in my own closet every day. I love that. My name is Cynthia, and this is my California Closets story.
My credit score was not that great.
I didn't understand what went into my credit score.
It was overwhelming.
Do you want to attain better credit health but don't know where to start? Credit Sesame can help by providing you a free credit score.
I love the app. It's so easy to use. It's like having your own financial coach.
Credit Sesame broke my credit score down into things that I understood, and it made me think, I can do this.
And the awesome thing about Credit Sesame, it's free.
It's 100% free.
You don't need to go it alone. Get started today at creditsesame.com.
If you think it's hot outside, just wait until you see even hotter savings inside. Only at Rugs As Art Hot Summer Savings Sale event will you find the lowest prices on a vast selection of stunning rugs, furniture accents, and accessories. This special event only happens once a year, so hurry in before the best selections are gone. The Hot Summer Savings event ends soon, so don't miss out on the best prices ever. Rugs As Art, Sarasota's only area rug superstore.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
Bob, the weekend is upon us. Father's Day weekend as well. A lot of people probably heading to the beach despite all that red tide.
Yeah, and it's not a lot. It's patchy. And
Okay.
in fact, I have a captain, Scott Moore, who's been doing the waters and fishing the waters for 40 years up in Manatee County. And he's called me up and said he's taking his boat up through Sarasota Bay and no problems
Okay,
throughout
good.
much of central and northern portions of Sarasota Bay through Manatee County. Again, things are looking pretty good as far as that goes. Now, as pictures go, we're now looking at the first alert weather. As you can see, that first alert weather, nice photos sent in, and it looks like we will continue to see beautiful sunsets over the weekend. Fred Seeger sending this one in from Casey Key. Casey Key getting that shot, and it looks as though we'll see again another one, nice one tomorrow. So thanks for that, Fred. And another one from University, and this one from Sharkies. Sharkies showing a nice picture right there. Well, here's the radar picture in review, and it showed a lot of big storms around earlier today in central Florida and along the East Coast, but not much going on now. We noticed quite a bit of rainfall, though, setting up in the Gulf of Mexico, and that's all associated with some upper air, a little turbulence there, if you will, causing those showers to develop. We're still under the influence of a large dome of high pressure, and that high pressure ridge will continue to kind of dominate our weather right through the weekend. Now, winds will stay very light, so if you plan on boating, don't expect much wave action out there. In fact, things will be pretty smooth going throughout the bay and throughout the Gulf of Mexico, well out on offshore. A lot of rain inland today, and as it has been for the past week now. The inland areas have been getting hammered with heavy rainfall. Not much, though, going on near the coast, so we're in a summer pattern of sorts, but it's an unusual summer pattern. We see this happen during the mid part of the summer, too, when a high pressure kind of gets bumped right over the top of us, and we don't get that east wind to bring us those storms from the central part of the state over to the west coast in the evening and afternoon. Well, this is looking a little impressive, a little circulation here in the mid-levels of the atmosphere. It's nothing to be too concerned about. The Hurricane Center only gives it a 10% chance of developing, and if it were to develop, it would move off to the northwest. One thing to note, though, this is the same area that Alberta formed. Alberta, I should say, developed here in the Western Caribbean and eventually had an impact on our weather. This means we could maybe see a pattern here in the Western Caribbean for the first part of the season. So we'll have to keep an eye on that throughout the month of July especially. Well, Futurecast indicating not much rain for us throughout the morning, and we'll see a few showers possible in the late morning, early afternoon. Then most of the action will be inland, similar to what we've seen this whole week. That's going to continue on into Sunday, too. But on Sunday, we'll have a better chance for some of these storms to work their way back toward the coast in the late afternoon and especially in the evening. So rain chances a little higher on Sunday, but nothing to worry about. I don't think you can cancel any of your plans if they're outdoors. Temperatures now across the state in the 70s, upper 70s right now. That's about our low tomorrow. It's going to start off warm and muggy here along the Sun Coast. Temperatures currently into the upper 70s to 80 degrees in downtown Sarasota. Look at the water temperature, warmed up to 87 degrees now, and that's pretty much where it stays throughout the next several months. 79 currently, and winds are out of the east-southeast at 8 miles an hour. The high today was warm, 90. It felt much warmer, though, with that higher humidity, around 97 degrees this afternoon. The forecast does call for a chance for a few morning showers, and then as that sea breeze moves in, there could even be a few isolated showers midday. Then most of the activity well inland throughout the afternoon and evening. Well, the forecast looks like this for boaters tomorrow. Smooth sailing out there. Seas running less than 2 feet, really, and looks like similar conditions on Sunday. The 7-day forecast then shapes up to be a warm one all the way through the next 7 days. You'll notice the rain chances bumping up a little bit on Father's Day, but it looks to be a pretty good Father's Day. High temperatures will be a little bit above average, and we'll see slightly drier conditions beginning Tuesday as those rain chances go down a little bit due to some drier air that will filter in across the Sun Coast. But all you fathers, enjoy your Father's Day weekend, I call it. Jacqueline, back to you.
All right, thank you, Bob. Well, the battle over immigration continues. The Department of Homeland Security reporting that in the past 2 months, nearly 2,000 children have been separated from their parents and are now being held by federal authorities. So many that a new facility is now going up in a remote part of Texas. ABC's Marcus Moore tells us why the White House says they're not to blame.
I am just outside the Tornillo, Texas point of entry along the U.S.-Mexico border, and just behind me is where the federal government has set up a tent city where hundreds of children, migrant children, are being housed. In the coming days, as many as 360 children could be housed here, and we are told that the shelter could expand as needed.
The children can be taken care of quickly, beautifully, and immediately. The Democrats forced that law upon our nation.
All of this is part of the Trump administration's effort to curb the number of families that try to cross over into the country illegally. Those who support the policy of separating children from their parents say that they are only trying to follow the law.
We're a country of law and order, and we're enforcing the law and protecting our borders.
While critics have called the effort inhumane.
It's a serious question. These people have nothing. They come to the border with nothing, and you throw children in cages. You're a parent. You're a parent of young children. Don't you have any empathy for what they go through?
And as that part of the conversation continues in living rooms across this country and among lawmakers in Washington, here on the ground, families continue trying to cross into the country illegally. And since the new crackdown, as many as 2,000 children have been found and taken into federal custody. Marcus Moore, ABC News, Tornillo, Texas.
Well, protests against that immigration policy have sprung up all over the country, including right here in the Sunshine State. Today and yesterday, dozens gathered outside of the ICE office in South Florida. Protesters are now demanding that the Trump administration end the zero tolerance policy.
Completely inhumane. It's children. So as a professor, as a mother, we come here to support them.
About 1,600 more beds have just been ordered, and more tent facilities like the one we just showed you are being planned in anticipation for more children.
Good job, bub.
Well, have you ever seen a manatee on a treadmill? If not, you can see that strange sight for yourself right here on the Suncoast. Mote Marine Lab's resident manatees Hugh and Buffett are taking part in a physiology study and use an underwater treadmill. The sea cows breathe into a metabolic dome while using the equipment, so researchers are able to measure just how much energy they use. Hugh and Buffett train for the study 5 days a week at Mote Marine, and the goal is to help researchers better understand the mammal's metabolism and share that information with manatee rehab facilities across the country.
If we get a better understanding of their physiology by doing this research project with Hugh and Buffett, then we have one more parameter that we can give to the rehab facilities so that they can test to make sure that these animals are really ready to be released back into the wild.
Mote says this is the first time this study has ever been performed on manatees. Researchers have already performed similar studies on sea lions, seals, narwhals, and dolphins. Well, efforts to restore shellfish to Sarasota Bay continues tomorrow. Sarasota Bay Watch and Mote Marine Lab working together to release nearly 30,000 clams into the water. This is the fourth of 7 different releases this summer, with clams that were specially farmed at Pine Island for the project. This comes after the bay's water quality has improved in recent years from the use of wastewater systems.
Our hope is that we can help kickstart those populations so that they can once again be viable for not only recreational but also for commercial use.
Sarasota Bay Watch workers are hopeful the clams' long lifespan of nearly 30 years and their ability to eat red tide algae that this restoration project will be a success. And Mote Marine Laboratory also releasing a 700-pound manta ray back into the wild today. This morning in the Bahamas, scientists transported the manta ray and released it into the ocean. Mote will now track the ray named Lele to help understand migration patterns and survival techniques. She is the 6th manta ray as a part of this research, but it is the first time they're using 2 types of technology to track it.
One is going to give us very accurate location information that we'll be able to see in near real time, and the other one is going to store its data and give us a whole bunch of great data in about 6 months on depth, temperature, and long-term migration.
To find out how you can view Lele's migration patterns in real time, you can visit our website at mysuncoast.com and simply search for this story. Well, sports is next, but first, here's what's coming up on Jimmy Kimmel.
Kimmel's New Tonight with the always humble Tiffany Haddish.
I've been the same Tiffany. I just got better wigs.
Plus DJ Khaled.
It's gonna be fly.
Unnecessary censorship and music from Ella May. Kimmel, New Tonight on ABC.
If you're only hungry for a slice of apple pie, why buy the whole pie? And you certainly wouldn't want to pay for an all-you-can-eat buffet. So if you don't use your cell phone that much, why get charged for a plan that's too big or even an unlimited plan? Luckily, there's still a wireless company that shares your values. Welcome to Consumer Cellular. Our average customer pays about $25 a month for everything they need. Many pay even less, as plans start at just $15 a month. You'll get a straightforward bill that's easy to understand with no surprises and all the attention you deserve from our friendly customer service team. No wonder Consumer Cellular has received the J.D. Power Award for highest customer service 4 times in a row. Plus, if you're an AARP member, you'll receive special discounts. It's easy to switch. You can even keep your phone and your number. So stop paying for more than you need and start your 30-day risk-free trial today. Call 800-457-2317, go online, or visit a Target store today.
If you're looking for the perfect trip that allows you to spend quality time with the family, then discover the great outdoors on an Alabama Black Belt adventure. Create unforgettable memories while hunting, fishing, or biking and hiking. Or play the Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail, now celebrating 25 years. And while you're here, enjoy the flavors of the Black Belt. Book your adventure at our lodges or stay in the Renaissance Montgomery Hotel and Spa. Start planning an Alabama Black Belt adventure today.
Hunger is a growing problem in our area, and a huge number of Suncoast residents are suffering in silence.
It could be your coworker,
your child's classmate,
or your friend fighting to secure their next meal. But you can help.
ABC7 is partnering with local organizations to help feed the Suncoast.
Go to mysuncoast.com/hunger to join the fight. Help us.
Help the hungry.
Each day, researchers make discoveries that bring us closer to the moment when all cancer patients can become survivors. Their progress is made possible with the help of clinical trials. Clinical trials are the brightest torch researchers have to light their way towards better treatments. And if you've been diagnosed with cancer, they may be your brightest ray of hope. Speak with your doctor and visit standuptocancer.org/clinical trials to learn more. Together, we can stand up for all of us.
They are the greatest fighting force the world has ever seen. But what does it take to bridge the distance and keep them connected to family, home, and country? What does it take to strengthen our service members so they can be the greatest force for good in the world? It takes a force. Be a force behind the forces. Give today at force.uso.org.
Now, sports.
A lot of great players will not tee it up this weekend at the U.S. Open. Among those missing the cut are Rory McIlroy, Jason Day, Bubba Watson, and Tiger Woods. A cloudy and rainy start to round 2 at Shinnecock Hills. First round, co-leader Dustin Johnson gets it going early here, draining the birdie putt on his 7th hole to get to 3 under par. He'd go on to shoot a 3 under 67 and is at 4 under par atop the leaderboard. Other golfers struggling with the course's deep rough. Russell Henley fails to get it out of the long grass and then does it again, leading to a triple bogey on the 3rd hole. Dustin Johnson avoiding the rough and owns the lead at the U.S. Open. And it's day 2 of the World Cup, a great match between rivals Spain and Portugal. Cristiano Ronaldo completed a hat trick with a perfectly taken free kick in the 88th minute to give Portugal a 3-3 draw against Spain. Spain looked to have successfully overcome its dramatic coaching change on the eve of the tournament, but Ronaldo curled a late shot over the wall to force the draw. Let's look at sports tonight. We'll have your winning lotto number straight ahead.
My California Closets experience has been wonderful. My mother's a huge inspiration. Before she passed away, she would say, you should do something special for yourself. First time I saw my closet, I immediately thought, this is the best thing I've ever done for myself. I call it my Tiffany style closet. I mean, I can shop in my own closet every day. I love that. My name is Cynthia, and this is my California Closets story.
When I was growing up, my mom told us, always treat others the way you want to be treated. She did business with companies that shared her values, like Mutual of Omaha. She had a guaranteed whole life insurance policy through United of Omaha Life Insurance Company, a Mutual of Omaha company. When my mother passed away, her United of Omaha policy helped cover her funeral expenses and bills, and they had money on its way to us within 24 hours.
United of Omaha is here to take care of you. When you call the number on your screen, we'll help find the right policy for you. If you're between 45 and 85, you can get coverage up to $25,000 with no medical exam. Call us right now at the number on your screen.
Now I know I'll be taking care of my family even after I'm gone.
United of Omaha guaranteed whole life insurance. Call or go online now. Be there for their future.
I'm Deshauna Barber. In 2016, I was proud to win the title of Miss USA. What makes me just as proud is my service in the U.S. military. In the service, a soldier gains skills and learns values like discipline and leadership. That makes them an asset to any business that hires them. If you're an employer, on behalf of Coalition to Salute America's Heroes, remember to hire smart and bet on a vet. Visit saluteheroes.org or call this number to learn more.
The Florida Lottery winning numbers are sponsored by Frontier Fios.
An entire town in California is on the market for, get this, less than $1 million. The ghost town dates back to the 1860s when it was a prominent silver producer. The abandoned mining town has been owned by one family for decades, and their real estate agent says they're ready to sell. And it would be a great place for maybe a haunted movie or some sort of horror
set,
thing.
right? Yeah,
movie set.
Pretty good. Or maybe they buy it and may find silver again or something. You never know. That'd be worth it. Pretty good weather for all the fathers out there for this weekend. And I know there's a big boat party out there on Big Pass, and it looks to be okay for that going on tomorrow. A little bit of red tide around there, but it's patchy at best and should not be a big factor.
All right. Thank you, Bob. Thank you all for joining us tonight. Have a great weekend and a happy Father's Day. We'll see you back here on Monday.